What's good, everybody? Welcome into a very special Saturday episode of Early Edge Live as we count down to the second game of divisional weekend. It's the Giants. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. It's an NFC East matchup now. As we come on the air, the Chiefs doing what the Chiefs do. They're ahead, but they are not going to cover. But as we line up for the onside kick, and the Chiefs have recovered, so the Chiefs will move on. So the first number one seed will get it done, despite the fact that Patrick Mahomes was out for most of the first half. Gutty performance. Chiefs get it done at home 27-20. And again, they do not cover. Can we just cover one time? But let's bring in the stars of the show because it's time to look forward. And boy, I got three of my absolute very best working on a Saturday. First and foremost, live from Nashville, Tennessee, the penthouse level. M squared. We got the dub, didn't get the cash.
We got the W. Yes, I only had them on the money line, so I am absolutely thrilled at this point, especially considering what happened to Patrick Mahomes during that game. How about Chad Henne in that drive? The way he came in, 98 yards. Yeah, that was impressive, and nice little payback to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
There you go. The longest touchdown drive. My man JJ coming in, doing work. Good job. I'm working, son. I know. My son's excited. Longest drive in playoff history for the Kansas City Chiefs when it was 10-7 and the game was right there in the balance. Chad Henne doing amazing work today. Next, he is the counselor of cash, and he's also a little bitter right now that Trevor Lawrence couldn't throw 2 touchdowns today. See you in a job. Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, I also had the Chiefs in a pretty big money line parlay, but yeah, the props didn't go well in game 1. Hopefully my official play for game 2 goes well. But yeah, Trevor Lawrence not getting to 2 touchdowns, especially after what happened in the second quarter, feels like a bit of bad luck came our way in that one, but we'll bounce back.
Yeah, they fumble at the 3. He throws an interception late. So there's a lot of opportunities on both sides to do different things. So the Chiefs will move on to face the winner of the Bills and the Bengals. But tonight, proppy. Me and Mikey are good, but now you are front and center because we all know you're the biggest Eagles fan in the Early Edge universe. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Coach. We are officially riding high. First, want to congratulate you and Mikey on your Chiefs advancing to the championship round. Also want to mention we hit a miracle Isaiah Pacheco fade under 12.5 carries, Coach. Had 9 at halftime, only finished with exactly 12. So that went exactly how I scripted it. Just kidding, but that is awesome to see. Got my Eagles playing tonight against the Giants. Can't wait to break this down. I've got all my buddies sending me videos live from Lincoln Financial Field. I am stoked, Coach.
No, we're going to get right into it. Our best bets, our props. If you have a prop you're thinking about tonight and you want us to hit on it, we'll try to get to as many as we can. We need you to put it in the chat. Also include the juice because it helps my guys really understand what we are working with. But let's start with our best bets. And Sia, you're on a side, so I want to start with you because tonight's very interesting with these two teams. The Eagles have been an over team most of the year. The Giants have been getting better. What side are you on?
Well, real quick, I'm on the Sia side. There was somebody in the chat that said, I'm glad I never listened to Sia. I just want to put something out there. I've had 3 losing weeks through this now week 19. So I don't know where you were the first, 18 weeks of the season, but you probably should have been listening. So maybe I'll have a losing week this week. I don't know, but the record stands for itself.
Yes, it does.
Speaking of records, Giants and Eagles, listen, this is a Division East battle, and I think this is going to be kind of a slogfest on both sides. I'm not 100% sure Jalen Hurts is fully healthy. Either way, you can run on the Giants, and I expect that to be the game plan, or at least the primary game plan for the Eagles. And we know on the Giants side, they're not going to want to really throw it downfield against this Eagles secondary. So hopefully for their sake, they can establish the run, but they're certainly going to try to. So I think we're going to see running of the clock on both sides of the ball. And again, division opponents, they know each other well. Both teams very well coached. Yes, this could go over the 48, but I really like the under here. Again, these teams know each other just too well.
Yeah, they certainly do. Mikey, let me come to you next. I'd love your feedback on your thoughts on the under. And then also, this would be leg number 2 in your money line parlay. Which side are we on?
Yeah, leg number 2, we are on the Eagles side, Coach. Look, I like the favorites all weekend. I think there's such a critical advantage getting to play at home and rest. Look, the Chiefs took care of business on rest. The Eagles are a team that needed it with their quarterback. I think this is a great spot for him personally. So the spread on the game, I make the number 10.5. I like the Eagles. I'm not playing it. I've already got it in the money line. I'm going to look to get through friendly numbers in, live betting in the postseason here. As far as the total, C is dead on. I think the number should be 44.5. Is where the total should be. This is a really, really big number for these two teams in this division, the way these two teams like to play. Expect the Giants to run the football a lot more than they did in that matchup with the Vikings. You're not fortunate enough to get to play the Vikings every single week. They're an incredibly well-coached team. Totally different game plan from the New York Giants tonight. But I am on the Eagles side. I like the Eagles to cover, and I like the under.
All right. Very, very good.
I also
Mikey.
like the team total under on the Giants. If I like the Eagles to cover and the under in the game, that would require a team total under to hit.
And that's at 20, right? You have it at 20, correct? The Giants team
yes,
total?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 3 good analysis right there. Now, Alex, let me come to you because Uncle Dave from our props extravaganza is on Dallas Goedert over 4.5 catches. The Maestro is on Dallas Goedert over 47.5 receiving yards. Those numbers may have changed just a little bit, but I want you to comment on those two and give us your one best bet for tonight, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a little bit of different take as regarding this Eagles offense, what they're going to do against the Giants. I think they're actually going to come out, be aggressive early, throw the ball downfield. That has been the consistent story with this Eagles football team all season long. Their bread and butter is downfield passing. If they can't do that, they have the talent and the luxury to be able to shift to a run-heavy game plan. But they will first try and attack the Giants downfield. And then if they're hooking up with A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, they're going to keep attacking New York down the field. This is why I think this game could potentially get out of hand. This is why I also think all the Eagles receivers could potentially have spike games, at least 2 of them, if the Eagles continue to have success throwing the ball downfield. I like the Goddard look. We saw last week what happened against T.J. Hawkinson, went for over 100 yards against this Giants defense who have struggled to cover tight ends. What was Larry's play, Coach?
The yards, 47.5 for Goddard.
They're both on Goddard?
Yeah, catches and the yards.
Yeah, so I just judging by last week, seeing the success T.J. Hawkinson had, I think both. I think Goddard could definitely be in line for a big game. I also think A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are in play as well. My play is Daniel Jones. Gave this out very early in the week because I knew this was a very inflated number. Under 221.5 passing yards. Listen, Daniel Jones is not playing the Vikings this week. Vikings are arguably the worst secondary in there. Now he's playing the best secondary. The Eagles are first in EPA allowed per dropback, first in passing DVOA. They gave up the fewest passing yards in the NFL this season, 179 per game. Considering they went 14-3 and were leading for most of those games, the fact that they only allowed under 180 passing yards per game shows you how good this pass defense is in Philly. So Daniel Jones is going to struggle. He only eclipsed 230 passing yards twice in the regular season, against Minnesota, against Detroit, 2 terrible pass defenses. So this number is inflated based on last week. I also think Mike alluded to this. The Giants are going to shift to a much heavier run game plan in this game. See a lot more Saquon Barkley. I think Daniel Jones is going to rely on his legs a lot more in this game. So the combination of the strength of the Eagles secondary coupled with the Giants just running the football a lot, I think it's a really good spot to fade Daniel Jones in a variety of ways too, not just his passing yards. I like his under completions and attempts as well.
All right. Very, very good. What about, though, as well, I'll get to that question in a second because voice of God, I need you. I need you to make me understand why the Chiefs cannot cover one damn game ever. And then I also need some best bets tonight. What do you got?
Coach, ever. Like, it's the same thing, right? Like, I mean, they just give up covers. They win so many games, too. Right? What is this, the 5th straight AFC championship?
They're 5.
That's insane. Like, that's insane. Yeah. And like, just no covers at all. Also, shout out to DraftKings refunding all Patrick Mahomes single game parlay bets. Yeah, well done on that one because we had 2, and we will gladly accept that refund.
You're damn right.
That one, yeah. All right, look, Sia just broke down how he thinks this game is going to go. Eagles, Jalen Hurts could be a little injured. Props. Kind of respectfully with the other side. I'm going to go way on the other side. And I'll bring the screen up for you real quick. We're going Eagles first half, team total over 13.5. We're going Eagles second half, team total over 13.5. I think Philly gets back to what they normally do, and that is pound touchdowns left and right. And, we saw the coach, Nick Sirianni, showed the last final rap battle to the team from 8 Mile last night. Dude, no such thing as halfway crooks.
I just feel like everybody believes that Jalen Hurts is going to be healthy and he's going to be good and he's going to roll tonight. I just kind of feel the other way. But I don't think the Giants are going to win. I do not. But I do think Daniel Jones, let me come to you, is going to use his legs. His number this week, because he had 60 in the first quarter a week ago. And I know before anybody says it, I understand it's the Vikings defense. I get that. If I have one more person tweet at me, I'm going to go crazy. But this week it's 47.5, and it's juiced to the under. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why it's juiced to the under. It's a tough defense, and that's a big number for most quarterbacks. I still kind of like the over. I mean, it's not something I'm willing to play, but the game plan has to be short area passes, try to get Saquon going, and definitely try to get Daniel Jones going. This is the playoffs. You're not saving Daniel Jones for anything, and that's what we saw last week against Minnesota. By the way, Minnesota's rush defense isn't terrible. I mean, it's not good, but their pass defense is where they usually get exposed, and Daniel Jones was able to run absolutely all over them. So given that the game plan is going to be Daniel Jones dependent with his legs, I think 47.5 is a fair number. If I had to bet it, I would be betting the over.
And I already did bet the over because I screwed myself last week. I said that whether it's Daniel Jones, Chicago quarterback, I'm losing track of the
Justin
names.
Fields.
Yeah, I just said those guys are automatic. I'm going to book it until they miss. And I played Daniel Jones on my own, 47.5. All right, let me come to you, Mikey, because we got two big names that we always have to hit on. And when you have a big game, A.J. Brown is usually the guy that steps up. Will Jalen Hurts be able to find him with the shoulder? How active is he going to be? And also Devontae Smith, whose yardage number is higher than A.J. Brown's. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I like A.J. Brown a lot more than I like Devontae Smith personally. I think the biggest thing that I'm looking for, honestly, though, is still Dallas Goedert. However, I do like A.J. Brown in terms of the longest reception. I do think they're going to hit a big play in this game. So that's the angle I personally would be looking to attack. I do expect, like Alex mentioned, I expect the Eagles to come out and be incredibly aggressive. So much to the point where I don't even know if they're going to huddle initially. I think they're going to run some no huddle. I think they're going to run as fast as they possibly can early in this game. I think that's where we see a big play to A.J. Brown. So I prefer to hit him with the longest reception over, and then potentially look to start playing these in game if you have the ability to do so. Based on what the game script's starting to look like. Just keep in mind that while the Eagles are trying to go faster in this game at times, the possessions in this game could be relatively limited, kind of relative to some of the other games we've seen.
Okay. And I misspoke. I apologize. A.J. Brown is a little bit higher than Devontae Smith. Yes, Sia.
No, I was going to say Devontae Smith has been very good. He's been very efficient, getting a lot of chunk plays. But the thing about A.J. Brown that's really interesting, if you look at his last, let's go 4 games, he's got 95, 97, 103, and 181 yards. That's a lot, right? Well, that's a very inefficient A.J. Brown. In those 4 games, he's only caught 4 of 10, 4 of 9, 6 of 8, and 9 of 16. So if we see an efficient A.J. Brown, this is a laddering scenario where we could see this guy get, again, I'm predicting a different game script, but I'm not necessarily right about that. This is a game where A.J. Brown could absolutely go off for like 155 yards, and we wouldn't be surprised about it.
Probably go.
Yeah, the reason A.J. Brown has been inefficient is because he's getting targeted deep down the field. Also, those games are with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. Big difference with Jalen Hurts and Gardner Minshew throwing the football. When you have a deeper A-dot, the deeper your A-dot is, the more inefficient it's going to be to hook up with a pass. So that's why you see just not necessarily the same efficiency we saw earlier in the season. So definitely I think this is a potential blow-up spot for A.J. Brown. Could have a huge game, well over triple digits if he gets going early.
By the way, to Mikey's point, the longest reception for A.J. Brown right now is 25.5. You'd like that, Mikey? 25.5?
I do, yeah. I think the number should be 26.5, 27.5.
Okay, very good. I'm going to play it even though it's a little juicy, but I'm going to play it because in M Squared we trust. Now, I got 2 questions, one for Proppy, one for Sia. Sia, let me come back to you because last week you were all over Richie James in this Giants offense. Is there somebody this week you're looking at? Because we have no best bets with the Giants' offensive weapons at all.
Yeah, if it was somebody, it would be Richie James. The problem is, and by the way, the reason is because I think the ADOT is going to be shorter for Richie James versus certainly Darius Slayton and Isaiah Hodgins. The thing about Isaiah Hodgins is he's become such a reliable target in the red zone and between the 20s that I really think he's sort of grown into a role where maybe his target share is going to start to really eclipse the other two. They're all in that like 18 to 23% range, but I mean, for me, I would be looking at Hodgins overs and Richie James overs. One of my official plays for the prop show was going to be Darius Slayton's under, but not with the yards, with the receptions, which I believe was at 3.5, and I believe the under was just -110, a normal amount there. I didn't make my way over there, but I would take Darius Slayton unders. Hodgins and Richie James, I like their overs a little bit.
So you said who to take the under?
Slayton receptions.
Slayton receptions. And I'm going to do it live. So I've got 3.5 -119. So right where you said it was going to be. So we'll play that live on the show right now. All right. Alex, I almost made a best bet play today under. And I want you to tell me if I'm crazy or really, really smart. Because of the injury to Jalen Hurts, I believe that they will not risk him in any run calls or scheduled runs or anything like that. So his rushing number is currently sitting at 50.5. Would you like the under on that?
I have a slight lean to the under, Coach, but you have to remember Jalen Hurts played the last week of the season. He had 9 rushing attempts in that game, got an additional week off as well. So while he's not going to be 100%, I do expect them to continue to utilize his legs. He's going to run a lot in this football game, has had tremendous success running against the Giants all year, I might add. So I actually have a tremendous amount of confidence in Jalen Hurts being close to full health and seeing him get out there in week 18 and run the ball nearly 10 times, to me, put to bed a lot of the worries I had.
The reason I feel that way is because I think that they're going to try and play this game to where they get a lead and then just try to get to the finish line and try to protect him for next week. That's just what I think the game script will be, but I could be wrong. It's going to be interesting to find out, though. It really, really is. Mikey, let me come to you because you already said you like the Giants team total under, which is 20. The numbers in the first half, AB's already on the over 13.5. Their number is now 14, and the Giants are a 9 at halftime. Either one of those halftime numbers, do you like at all?
I don't mind the Eagles one, personally. I don't mind the Eagles one. I expect them to come out for a very hot start. Not going to be a play for me, but that's certainly where I would lean. Look, we'll see if there's any rust there. I'm in the camp with Alex. I don't think there's going to be much rust at all on the Eagles side. I think that part of the reason that I am projecting them to come out and play incredibly fast is there's not really as much of an opportunity for the rust there. You're just out there playing ball like he's grown up playing, and I think that really helps a lot for a player like Jalen Hurts. So I don't love playing the first half team totals personally. Just the opening kickoff, who receives the ball first, can dictate quite a bit of them, especially when you are playing with teams that definitely want to keep the ball on the ground at times. So it's just something that I shy away from. The only thing I wanted to comment on really quickly also is the Giants pass catchers. I think their lines are slightly inflated, which would normally be a situation we'd want to take the unders. They're inflated because of the 2 recent matchups with Minnesota, right? And playing games like that. The issue with coming in and just blindly taking unders is we have I'm pretty confident they're facing a negative game script in desperation mode, as it is a true must-win game. So I think that it makes the numbers, like I said, I lean under on a lot of them, but I'm not going to end up playing them because I do project them to be in that negative desperation game script here.
And we know that it doesn't matter what team it is. They're just going to sit back and do what the Chiefs did in the final minute today and give up 60 yards passing in the final 40 seconds. That could happen in this game too. Great call. Probably let me come to you. I literally just got a text from my connection, my informant, if you will, within the Chiefs organization. He says, quote, Patrick just told me there's no way he's missing next week's game. High ankle sprain, confirmed. It's official. But he said he will be good to go, straight from my boy inside the Chiefs organization. Now, he won't be 100%, but he'll be good to go. All right, probably let me come to you because we talked about the running for Jalen Hurts. What about the rest of the team? If they're going to be ahead, Miles Sanders, let me check my notes, is at 79.5 for his combo number, 71.5 minus 114. We haven't talked about any of the runners for the Eagles as of yet.
Yeah, I think this is a good spot for Miles Sanders. I definitely think he could be leaned on heavily in the second half. If the Eagles have a big lead, certainly could be heavily involved in the game plan. Then I would look to attack his longest rush. It's over 14.5. I think he's got a good chance to spring a couple runs against this Giants defense that has really been poor against the rush, poor against the pass. So definitely think Miles Sanders could be heavily involved. However, I do think the number is fairly efficient where it is. I don't think there's a lot of value taking the over at this point. I do think there's a little bit of value on the longest rush, though, or 14.5.
Okay. Very, very good. See, let me come down to you because Prop Stars is on Daniel Jones and is under for the passing, but we haven't talked attempts, completions, and we've really done a good job of targeting and cashing those types of bets the last couple of weeks. Do you like the attempts 33.5, 30.5, 21.5, also 21.5 for both quarterbacks?
Yeah, I'm looking at the completions for Daniel Jones of over 21.5. That's kind of a lot. Again, that really comes down to how you think this game is going to go. If you think the Eagles are going to jump out to a big lead and have it for most of the game, I think the over in Daniel Jones completions is certainly fair at 21.5. I'm not really willing to take anything there. If anything, I would be looking at Jalen Hurts unders because I question how much Jalen Hurts is going to have to pass after halftime, let's say. And again, I'm not necessarily predicting an Eagles blowout, but that's certainly in play more than some of these games we're going to watch this weekend. So I'd be looking at some Jalen Hurts unders when it comes to probably pass attempts specifically.
Okay. Probably let me come to you. Chat question from Brandon. He loves the combo number with Saquon Barkley, 98.5. We talked about Barkley on the prop show, and you gave some great information on why we probably should not play his rushing number. I would love for you to tell the audience today.
Yeah, I do think Barkley is going to be involved, heavily involved in the game plan. Last week only had 9 carries against the Vikings, and that was despite him running really well, especially early in the game. Really just didn't utilize him much in the running game. They leaned on him heavily in the short area passing game. I think that's going to flip-flop this week. I think we're going to see him involved a lot more as a runner. I like his volume, actually. I think he's going to have over 15.5 rushing attempts. You can find that line on most books. I think that's a really solid bet. And yeah, I just think Brian Daboll, the Eagles are a significant run funnel. Teams are choosing to run against them both because they're ineffective guarding the run, coupled with the fact their pass defense is so strong. So to me, Saquon's going to be the engine of the offense here, and I think he's going to get a ton of carries. One look I also love is his receptions line is 4.5. He only had 5 receptions 3 or 4 times all season long. One of those games coming last week against the Vikings. I just think we're going to see a lot lower passing volume from the Giants, and 4.5 is a massive number for Saquon Barkley. I think it's an excellent fade despite it being heavily juiced.
Okay, so you would go with the under. Let me find it because I'm not about to cost myself money by not doing a live here on the air. Receptions still at I'm an idiot. Here we go. Yeah, 4.5 juiced really heavy to the under. So the books agree with you, Alex. They really, really do. All right, I think we've gotten to all of the props. We never force it. We never go longer than we need to. We go just long enough. Anything else, gentlemen, on the props before we move on to the gym? And I'm not sure if we have a donkey or a goose today. Neither one? Yeah, this is very, very tough. You guys understand, for those of you who are brand new to the live shows, sometimes we do same-game parlays. Sometimes if we don't feel it on the prop side, and this is a very, very difficult game, it just is, then you don't force them. You don't have to bet on everything. Anything else from a prop perspective anybody wants to add before we go to the gym? Everybody good? All right. Now, touchdowns tonight. They could be at a premium. Is this going to be another 22-16 game like we saw a couple of weeks ago? Or will it be a shootout? Or will it be a blowout like some people expect for the Eagles? But right now, we're concerned about the first touchdown of the game. And we've got to give props to Proppy. Oh, he's got a brand new nickname this week. Proppy 3-time. Oh, Prop Stars has joined C as the only 2 men in history in one season to walk into the club.
Hey, Coach, it's his moment. You don't need to bring me up. It's all about Proppy 3 times right now.
All right, so here we go. The rules are it has to be plus 1,000 or higher. These guys take a lot of time, so it's very, very serious. All right, Mikey, this was named for you. You were the very first person to hit this 2 seasons ago. Who do you like tonight?
Dallas Goedert plus 1,300. This is a Chalk Stars special. Chalk Stars is my name for whoever plays this one here. I'm sure Alex wanted to play this. I think I got to the email thread quicker than a few people tonight, so that's why I'm on it. But I like Dallas Goedert in this game. I think that a lot of attention's rightfully so paid to A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts with his legs. That leaves Dallas Goedert open. Give me Dallas Goedert plus 1,300.
I like it. Rama says in the chat, though, Coach, your energy is lower than normal. Let's go. Is it really? I mean, how much more energy? Now, my favorite team just played. You have to understand, I had to watch my team for 3.5 hours and then rip apart cash tickets. So, yeah, I'm a little bit fatigued, but I'm still here. Let's go. All right, now, Proppy 3 times. Dare we even think about saying Proppy 4 times? I mean, I don't even know what we say. Proppy quad. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what we would do, but let's see. Who do you like?
We're looking to make history tonight, Coach. Real quick, Rava, this is a coach after his team has a backdoor cover against him, so a little bit less energy could be the case. So just want to put that out there. If your team had a backdoor cover, you'd be feeling pretty down in the dumps as well. But, yes, we're going for the 4-timer, looking to make history, Coach. It's going to happen. What better time than with my team playing tonight? Let's go. Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, plus 1,700. Coach talked about it. He leans on his legs, 60 rushing yards in the first quarter last week. He's had some huge games with his legs against my Eagles in the past. And Mike is correct. I did want Dallas Goedert, so we're settling for Daniel Jones.
I can just see you giving him the when you saw that Dallas Goedert come through the email. All right. Now, counselor. Luckily for you, a couple of weeks ago, you got off the schneid. Because we didn't want you to go through an entire season not cash. That would have been a long off season for you because we do a lot of shows together. But you're now looking for a second cash this season. Who do you like tonight?
Yeah, and I'm coming off a couple tough losses, namely that Trevor Lawrence under 1.5 touchdowns. So what do you do with the loss? You get to your get Richie quick scheme. And my get Richie quick scheme is Richie James at King James. King James was playing last night against Memphis. There's a King James in the NFL as well. His name is Richie James. He's plus 2,800. He's going to be one of the short area guys for Daniel Jones. It wouldn't shock me if the Giants get on the board first, maybe produce an early turnover, get a short field, and target Richie James at plus 2,800. I like it.
Okay, I like it a lot too. All right, voice of God, where are you? There he is.
I got to say first, I really love when our in-house counsel starts talking about setting up schemes. That's what I really enjoy. We definitely need that one. Look, we're going to go Isaiah Hodgins only because the dude is good. It's at plus 2,200, and I'll put up the screen here so everybody can see. Also because I bet the Eagles first half, meaning that the Giants are going to go on a 19-minute drive, to start the game and just put me out of there. So we might as well hedge on that one. Also, Prop Stars, I've got this for you. We got to do soundboard here since you're the first one to 3. And look, I'm at 2. I'm trying to catch you tonight, but we got to pay respect. So this is for you.
Let's go.
Is that it?
Yeah, we have more, but you guys don't want to do it because I'll just ruin the show.
Hey, Alex, you worked all season. You got a ding. There you go. You worked 20
and boom
weeks.
Goes
You
the
got
dynamite.
a ding.
And boom goes the dynamite. And
all right. And then, of course, the snake still clawing, still trying to get that first cash. Boston Scott plus 2,200. I feel like he's just throwing names out at this point. Oh, the snake on a Saturday. Wherever you are, we're thinking about you, and so is Boston Scott.
Surprised you didn't go with Donovan McNabb, Coach.
All right, we have crossed the top of the hour. The game's about 13 minutes away, so we don't stay up until kickoff. We like to give you the best right at the top of the hour. A lot of you dip in, dip out, dip in at the top of the hour. So here are our best bets, 20 seconds or faster. Prop Stars, start us off.
Yeah, let's go Daniel Jones, under 221.5 passing yards. Gave this out earlier in the week because I knew this was a very inflated line. Averaged only 200 passing yards in the regular season. Now he's facing an Eagles team that allowed only 179 passing yards per game. That was the fewest in the NFL. I think the Giants are also going to run the football quite a bit. That's why I love fading Daniel Jones through the air tonight.
That number is all the way down to like 214. Hashtag it pays to watch live. Hashtag it pays to be a SportsLine member. All right. See you, Najad. Counselor, what do you like tonight?
Yeah, this play was also given out earlier in the week. It continues to be at 48. This is a site play on SportsLine. Listen, this is going to be an NFC East round division game. The New York Giants defense is a little bit healthier, so I think there'll be a little bit more resistance than what we saw the first time these two teams played. Both teams are going to try to establish the run, a lot of running of the clock, and I think this falls under 48.
Very, very good. Mikey, the second leg of your money line parlay, and we like who?
We like the Philadelphia Eagles, Coach. Look, I think this is a great spot for them. You can't overstate how important the rest was at this point for Jalen Hurts and just playing on their home field. Great spot to be in Philly. Let's go Eagles.
All right, just for the record, EC, our contrarian on early edge in 5, he likes the Giants plus 7.5 tonight. AB, why do you like the Eagles tonight? Both halves.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you why. I think that the Eagles are going to get back to business. They're the highest scoring first half team in the NFL, specifically in the second quarter. Also, we're going to play the second half because if they don't drive it up in the first, they definitely will in the second. But I think that they do it on both. Also, what we learned, Coach, this morning, EC's date last night went on the over, hit the over, crushed it.
What, did he make it like 10:02? I mean, it was...
Yeah,
10
I think
o'clock
it was like
was
46 minutes. I think it was like right at 46 minutes. So we had to sweat that one for sure.
So both him and Buckets told their first dates. One was a blind date, by the way, to watch the show. I guess to flex. I'm not in the dating pool anymore. As many of you know, I've got a 10 who's just in the other room. But I would never tell her to watch my sports betting show to flex. I just wouldn't do that. But that's what Buckets did. That's what EC did. Mikey, would you ever do that?
Absolutely not. You want to see a clip from it? You can look at my Instagram. That's it.
See, all four of us here are veterans and taken.
I'm undefeated, never lost. All
right, Uncle Dave is on Goddard too. Maestro's on Goddard. Micah Roberts has the Jags already cashed and the Giants plus 15 tonight. All right, now, one last bit of business. Tomorrow, a very special start time on what I believe will be the game of the weekend. 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. We will be here to count down to the Cowboys and the 49ers live from the Bay. Can't wait. Stars all over the board. My guys cannot wait to chop this up and then watch this together late tomorrow afternoon. Then on the morning show, a little extended version. We'll have best bets and props from the Bills hosting the Bengals. What a day tomorrow is going to be. But let's worry about tonight. And you know, I like to ask my guys, what's the number one most important thing they're looking for tonight? You can use this information for this game, live betting, or into the future. But knowledge is power. Mikey, start us off.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the health of Jalen Hurts. I think we're going to find out really quickly in this game what he's like. The thing I'll tell you I'm looking for most is the way he hits the ground when he goes to the ground, whether it's getting tackled or gets hit. You'll be able to watch closely and see if he's intentionally trying to land a certain way. That will tell me most of what I need to know about this game.
Love it. Proppy, talk to me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game plan that Nick Sirianni drew up. I've seen the Eagles consistently all season long. They come out, they want to attack down the field. If that isn't working and clicking for them, they shift to the run. They're one of the very few teams that has the luxury of having a great ground game in addition to a high-volume passing attack. So interested to see if it works early. If it does, I think this could get out of hand quickly.
Okay. See, I never ask you this, but do you kind of have to bite down on the bit when you watch a playoff game with two teams from your division, but not your team?
I used to, but it's been 30 years since Washington's made the playoffs, or so it seems. So they've kind of been relegated in my mind at this point. So when the playoffs start, I'm like, oh, that's not a Washington thing. That's for somebody else. So thanks for bringing it up, by the way, because I'm not already having a bad day. With that said, Coach, I'll go ahead and just say the theme here, I'm going to be consistent with Mike and Props here. I'm just curious to see what the Eagles end up doing or how they look, because they've been kind of forgotten because of the Jalen Hurts injury. Everybody's expecting San Francisco to beat Dallas tomorrow. Whoever whoever wins that game, if we see that Jalen Hurts is a little banged up and a little rusty, one of those two teams could very well make it to the Super Bowl. And if it's Dallas, oh boy, that would be crazy. But I expect it to be San Francisco, my preseason call.
And we talked a lot today, didn't we, about some of the numbers are based off of what we saw a week ago. So tonight, based on what we see from the Eagles or the Giants, we got to give them at least a chance. That will dictate the number for the game next week. So really pay attention to that. Gentlemen, as always, well freaking done. Now, this is the fun part. There's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these playoff tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, love them all. M squared, Proppy 3 times. What? And the counselor, as always, bringing the heat and the mind. The mind is so strong. It's going to be a big, big night. Let's enjoy the game. Everybody together, stay active. And remember, there's only one brand, whether it's a morning, afternoon, or evening. We're here for you. We grind for you so we can win with you right here. Early Edge. Good luck.